what have you done that's interesting since last time, since our last lesson together?
You mean have I done anything?
Yes, have you done anything interesting, or has anything interesting happened for you since last time, since our last lesson together?
I just um I just went back my hometown and to unify with my family.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and took my kids back to my hometown, and then they can play in countryside.
Hmm. You wouldn't say in countryside, you would say in the countryside, because you
In the
always need
countryside.
to have the article, in this case, the definite article, the word the, in front of the noun.
Mm-hmm.
So you would say in the countryside. There we are.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great, Becca. So let's have a look now. Today is the English joke humor lesson, and let's have a look. Do you remember which jokes we were talking about last time in our last lesson together?
Uh, for a three-legged chicken.
Oh, that's right. You remember the joke about the three-legged chicken. Did you like that joke?
Yeah,
Was that a good
three
joke?
legs better than faster
It's
than
faster than two legs. That's
two
right. Three
legs.
legs.
Yeah.
Three legs are faster than two legs. Yes, absolutely. That's great. It's a bit like 3 horsepower is faster than two
Three
horsepower.
horsepower.
That's right. It's like 50% more, which is, half as much
Yeah.
again, which is quite a lot, actually. So
Mm-hmm.
if the chicken normally runs at, I don't know, 20 miles an hour, well, there, the chicken would be running at 30 miles an hour, which is already quite fast, you see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so who's going to start? Who's going to tell the first joke? Is it you or is it me, Becca?
Mm, I go first.
Yes, you can go first. I'm listening to you then, Becca. That's great.
Okay. Mm, okay. I go ahead.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Uh, Harry prays to God. Uh, Dear God, please make me win the lottery.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And the next day, Harry begs the Lord again. Please make it so I win the lottery, Lord.
Yes. Yes.
And then the next day, Harry again prays, please, dear Lord, make me win the lottery.
Yes.
Suddenly, he hears a voice from the above.
Mm-hmm.
Said, Harry, would you kindly go and buy a lottery ticket?
Oh, brilliant. Oh, that's wonderful. That's really good. That's a really good joke. But that's really true, actually, that
Yeah, my husband always told me the same words.
yes, it's very true because you see a lot of people they pray for things, they ask for things, but they don't even do the strict minimum that's necessary in order for those things to happen.
Yeah, you're right.
So it is very important to do uh, what is necessary for those things to happen, like
Mm-hmm.
in this case, buying the lottery ticket, because if you don't buy the lottery ticket, you could pray every single day of your life to win the lottery, but there is 0% possibility of winning the lottery if you don't buy a lottery ticket, if you see what I mean.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But
So,
sometimes people would like to see the full pictures, or mm, I mean, they want to know the whole pictures, and then they
oh, right.
they can
Hmm.
they can they can do it.
Yes, that's right. Some people want to see the whole thing, which is a lack of faith, really. if they're waiting, for everything to happen for them, to take place for them, before they actually do anything themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, there has to be faith as well. You have to believe that it's going to happen, because if you don't have faith, then basically it's not possible to do anything. So faith obviously is very important, and it's actually the most important thing. We really must have faith
Mm-hmm.
in order for anything that we would like to have happen, for it to
Mm-hmm.
actually happen.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, that's very true, Becca. Exactly. Well, that's a really good joke. Thank you very much for that joke, Becca. Now, I don't know
Mm.
if I told you the joke about how to catch a crocodile. Did I tell you that joke? How to catch a crocodile?
Last time you mentioned the way to catch a crocodile,
I told you that joke?
but
I did tell you that?
I'm
Yes?
not sure it's the same one. Use
Oh, it's the same
the
one. Oh, yes.
alcohol and then it's right 2 steps.
So,
I mean 2 ways to.
oh no, there's only one way to catch a crocodile. But I told you that joke last time about how to catch a crocodile. I told you that last time, the joke about how to catch a crocodile?
In the beginning of the lesson, I
Yes.
remember you told me jokes related to the crocodile, but I'm not sure
Ah,
the same one.
yes. Well, that I only have one joke about how to
Oh,
catch a crocodile. So that must be the joke then. So you already know the joke about how to catch a crocodile. Well, that's good. So, did I tell you jokes about the cows? About, oh yes, how do you recognize a Scottish cow? Did I tell you that joke, Vanilza?
oh,
How do you recognize a
no,
Scottish cow?
they have different. You mean recognize their language in
Yes,
Scottish?
that's right. Do you know how to recognize the language in Scottish of a Scottish cow?
I forgot it, but
Ah, you forgot that one.
yeah.
Okay. Well, the Scottish cow, instead of saying moo, moo, the Scottish cow would go mcmoo, mcmoo. Do you know why the Scottish cow would go mcmoo instead of just moo on its own?
I remember their language always has have in the end of or beginning of their
Mm,
speaking they were mug.
muck, that's right, because uh, uh, in Scottish the names always starts with muck, you see, MC or
Uh-huh.
Mac, MAC, like McDonald's. McDonald's is
McDonald.
actually a Scottish name, you see.
Really?
Yes, that's because it has muck or Mac in front. So
Oh.
McDonald's is actually a Scottish name. If it was O Donald's, like
Hmm.
O apostrophe Donald's, that would be an Irish name because the Irish always have the letter O in front
Uh-huh.
of their names, like O'Brien and O'Reilly, you see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, if it was uh, a Welsh name, do you know what a Welsh name would look like or sound like?
Well with
Welsh, you know the country of
Welsh.
Wales. Wales. You've heard of Wales? The country called Wales, where the Welsh live.
Mm,
Have you heard of that country,
I heard
Becca?
that before, but I forgot.
Well, the Welsh people, I mean, uh, do you know how you could recognize if it was a Welsh name? How would you recognize if it's a Welsh name?
No.
No, no idea. Well, in
Mm.
fact, the way to you would recognize a Welsh name is because it's totally unpronounceable, and you can't even understand it or read it. It's just so complicated. then if you see something like that, you know it's a Welsh name because their names are just so complicated because they speak Gaelic, and the Gaelic is quite a complicated language, you see.
Mm-hmm.
And so their names are so complicated that if you see a complicated name, then you would know that is a Welsh name. You see, that's how you recognize a Welsh name because it's so complicated you can't even pronounce it. You can't even say it.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
And what about an English name? How do you reckon?
English.
Yes. How do you recognize an English name? So you know how to recognize a Scottish name, an Irish name, a Welsh name. How would you recognize an English name?
Just the no, I don't know.
Well, basically, it's all the other names which don't have mk in front, which don't have the letter O and an apostrophe in front, and the names which are actually pronounceable and
Mm-hmm.
readable, not like the Welsh names which you can not pronounce and are totally unreadable unless you're Welsh, of course. So all
Mm-hmm.
the other names which don't fall into those other categories, those are the English ones. They're all the ones that are left.
Okay, I got it.
You understand it.
Just you mean the normal one
That's
and
exactly the English names are the ones that are normal. They're the normal names, and all the other
not
names.
special.
That's right. All the others are special or not normal, and but the English
Mm.
ones, they're just the normal ones. You know, just the ordinary names. The ones that are not super special or complicated.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah, English name.
That's my little joke, actually. I just invented that now. I sometimes invent jokes as well for my classes, you know. So I have my own material, not only other people's material which I use. I also invent my own material. So original content. This is brand new original content. You know,
Original content.
very
Yeah.
fresh. You know, very fresh and new, brand new. You know, like never been used before. So
Yeah.
you know you're having it like an avant-premiere. This is like the first time ever kind of thing. So you're
Mm-hmm.
benefiting from the uh, novelty of it, or the newness of it.
Mm.
Totally new. Wonderful. Excellent, Becca. Okay, well, it's time for you to tell me another joke now, Becca.
Uh, do you like the riddles?
Ritos. What's a Ritos?
Mm, I'm most of them are quite short, but some of the answers are quite funny. I mean, the kind of
Ah,
jokes.
did you say riddles?
Yeah,
Riddles.
riddles.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, those are good fun as well. Yes, tell me a riddle, Becca.
Mm,
That'll be nice.
okay. Uh, this riddles related to the attitude for different things.
Okay.
Okay, three here three people to have
N
different.
not three peoples because we keep that
So yeah,
word
three
without the
people,
S, even though it's plural.
mm-hmm.
We say three people,
Three persons.
but that's right. It's like saying
Mm-hmm.
three persons, but you don't put an S on the end, except if you're talking about nations, tribes, civilizations, uh, ethnic groups
Uh-huh.
of specific ethnic origins. Then you would talk about native peoples like the Indians, like the Aborigines, like the Africans. These are all different types of people, and
Mm-hmm.
then you could refer to all of these different peoples as different
Mm-hmm.
tribes and ethnic groups and nations and civilizations all over the world, you see. So,
Mm-hmm.
but if you're just talking about people in general, like three individuals
Mm-hmm.
in a group, just three persons, then you would just say three people rather than peoples. Can you see the difference there, Becca?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's great. So I'm listening to your joke then, Becca.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, first person. We
Yes.
called optimist.
Upton missed, yes.
Yeah. He
Oh,
said
optimist, optimist. Uh,
optimist.
optimist is a person who always sees the good things in life.
Yeah.
That's right. It's an optimist. That's it.
Optimist.
Hmm.
Um, the glass is half full,
Yes.
and the pessimist
Hmm.
said the glass is half empty.
That's right.
And
Yes.
and the last people, the
Last
mother,
last person. You don't say the
last
last
person,
people
yeah,
because if
last,
it's just one person,
yeah,
you cannot use people because people is a plural word and can only be used when there's at least two different persons. Then you could say two people. But if it's
okay,
one person, you cannot say one people.
okay. The last person, the
Yes.
mother,
Yes.
do you know uh, what did she say?
Well, give me a clue. Give me a hint. Is
Just
she a
very
pot?
handy
Is she,
answer
is
and
she an
very
optimist or is she a pessimist? Or is she neither optimist
just
nor pessimist?
practical answer.
Just practical.
Yeah.
So practical is well, she could say uh, she could drink the half that's in the glass and then say, there's nothing left in the glass. Let's go and buy some more drink. Uh, is that the answer?
Sounds not bad.
Not bad. It's
But
original, isn't
yeah,
it?
but
She drinks
not
what's in the glass, and then she says, "Right, now the
uh,
glass is empty. Let's go and buy some more drink and have a full glass."
okay. Um, she said, why didn't you use a coaster
A coaster. What's a coaster?
under the cup of under the cup? You normally
A saucer. Yes.
mm,
A saucer. That's what you put underneath the cup. Is that right?
saucer.
Yes. Is that the
I'm not
word? Is that the word you're saying?
coaster.
Is
Here
it?
they used coaster and
How do they write
saucer.
coaster? Can you write it in
C
Skype chat, please,
C
Becca?
O A S T E R. Coaster.
Coaster. Oh, I've never heard of a coaster. Oh, a new
Ah,
word vocabulary. Oh, thank you, Becca. I'm going to be learning something new.
maybe it's not
That's
very
great.
common word.
Coaster. That's brilliant. Oh, I
It's
must
the
look.
same as
I've
saucer
never heard.
you
I've never.
wrote.
No, I've never heard of this word. What is a?
Really?
Oh, I'm going to learn a new word. Oh, this is where the student does better than the teacher. You see, the student is overtaking the teacher, and here it's not the student learning from the teacher; it's the teacher learning from the student. You see, so we've turned the roles around. So now
S A
you're the
U.
teacher, I'm the student. I'm learning from you now. Actually, you are right. A coaster is a small mat for a bottle or a glass. And it's also a ship, a coastal ship,
Mm,
which is used to carry cargo along the coast from port to port. So it's a coaster. So it can be a ship, a boat,
mm.
a big boat, or, as you say, a small mat for a bottle or a glass. So that is a coaster. I thought it was just called a beer or a glass mat. I thought it was called a glass mat, but in fact, there's a special name for a glass mat, and it's called
Mat.
a coaster.
MAT. You mean MAT?
That's right, a mat as
Oh,
in
mat.
MAT. So
Okay.
it's a glass mat. So
Glass mat. Okay.
yes, a glass mat. That's like a little mat that you use for the glass or for the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually has a name, and it's called a coaster. So I've learned something new. That's brilliant. Thank you, Becca. Oh, I
Oh,
really
I
like it when I'm learning something new.
I don't know this word is unusual.
It's very rare, actually. It's so rare that I've
Okay.
never heard of it. So it's
Uh-huh.
very specialized. You see, it's specialized jargon, specialized terminology. in the business of
Mhm.
drinks and beverages and those who sell drinks and beverages. So, for example, in the pub or in a restaurant, they would use that terminology, but obviously, if you're not in the restaurant or pub business, then obviously you wouldn't be familiar with this word. So it's a very specialized word, you see, a coaster,
Okay.
because I've
So
never heard of it.
glass mat is
Glass mat is more
much
understandable.
more normal.
Yes,
Okay.
that's the more
Glass mat.
usual way to say it. It's a glass mat, a mat for the glass. That would be much more understandable for
Okay.
99% of people, because I
Mhm.
think maybe only 1% of people have actually heard of that word coaster before, and those would only
Okay.
be the people who work in the food and beverage industries, like restaurants and and pubs and places like that.
Okay.
So that's interesting. Well, thank you, Becca. I've learned something new. I'm really pleased. That's great. You see, you learn new things every day. We never stop learning. Even teachers learn new things, even from their students. That's
Yeah.
great.
You are so humble.
Oh, we have to be. You know, the Lord calls us to be humble by grace. We are
Mhm.
called to be humble. So that's a quality which the Bible actually encourages us to have as a quality. So yes, that's very important to be humble. So I thank the Lord for that, that I have that possibility by grace, that ability or skill or aptitude. That's wonderful, Becca. So it's my turn to tell you another joke. Now, I don't know if I told you the joke about um, the cow that goes "Baa, baa, maa, maa." Did I tell you about that joke, Becca?
Call and
The cow that goes "ma, ba, ba,
I'm not
ma."
sure that's I'm not sure the same one, but yeah, you could just
I'll
yeah.
tell it to you. So
Okay.
there's one cow that goes moo, 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 and the other cow goes ba, ma, ba. And then the first cow says, "But hang on a moment, cows don't go ba and ma. Cows go moo, moo." And then the second cow says, "Yes, of course, I know, but I'm practicing a foreign language."
Foreign language.
Yes, because
Yeah, I'm
for
just like right
cow,
now. I'm
yes,
practicing
yes,
foreign language.
exactly. For you, English is a foreign language, you see. But
Yeah.
and for cow, the the language of the sheep,
Mm-hmm.
the language that the sheep use to communicate amongst themselves, well, that would sound like a foreign language for the cow, you see, because normally cows don't speak the same language as the sheep. So for a
Mm-hmm.
cow, the sheep language would be a foreign language, you see. So the cow is learning a foreign language, a language from another animal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you like that. Okay, so your turn to tell me a joke then, Becca.
Okay.
Hmm.
It's a short joke.
Yes.
Okay. Andy has 150 candy bars,
Wow, that's wonderful.
and he eats 125.
Right.
What does Andy have now?
Well, normally he has an upset tummy after eating 125 candy bars. He must be feeling quite sick, quite ill after eating all those candy bars, and think he has an upset tummy. He's probably
Upset
feeling,
tummy.
yes, upset tummy. I think he's feeling a little bit sick, a little bit ill, because he's eaten all those candy bars. Is that correct? Is that the right answer?
Yeah, very. Uh, the direction is correct, but
Yes.
right now Andy has diabetes.
Diabetes.
Diabetes now.
Well, yes, I imagine as well as the upset tummy and the tummy ache and feeling a bit sick and ill. I imagine he has diabetes as well. So you see, it's the right kind of answer because I've heard that kind of joke before. That's why
Yeah.
I'm familiar with that one. Do you remember I was saying to you, I've heard so many jokes that normally I can recognize one out of every two jokes, you see.
Oh, okay.
But I've heard this one before, but obviously
Uh-huh.
slightly different, like having an upset tummy instead of diabetes. But it's the same kind of thing. Instead of concentrating on the 25 candy bars that are left, we're concentrating on his condition, his medical health condition, which obviously is not so good after eating 125 candy bars. Excellent. Very good, Becca. That's a very good one. Oh, do you know what uh, makes the sound zub, zub, zub?
Zebra, rubber.
Z zub, zub, zub. What makes that sound? Zub, zub, zub. Any idea? What makes
No,
that sound? No?
no.
Well, it's a bee, like a bumblebee,
Oh,
flying backwards.
backwards.
Yes, if the bumblebee is flying backwards, it makes the
Zeb-
sound a zub, zub, zub. Instead of uh, buzz, 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 because normally a bee buzzes, you see, it makes a buzzing sound. But if it's flying backwards, then if you pronounce buzz backwards, it sounds like zub. So instead of going buzz, buzz, buzz when the bee is flying forwards, when the bee is flying backwards in reverse, then the sound, instead of being buzz, 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 the sound of the bee sounds like zub, zub, zub.
zeb-
You see what I
Zebra.
mean, Becca? It's the sound of the bee flying backwards. It's the
Uh,
opposite. It's the other way around, you see.
oh, okay.
You understand the joke?
Not, not exactly, but I know it just fly
Uh-huh.
backwards, buzzer,
Yes.
buzzer.
So, for example, a donkey. If a
Oh,
donkey, instead of making the usual sound that it makes when it's going forwards, if it were to go backwards and make a sound, instead of going ee-ah, ee-ah, the donkey would go ah-ee, ah-ee. You see, it's the other way around. You understand? Well, let me give you another example. An owl. You know what an owl is? An owl,
mm.
the bird that
The
comes,
big bird.
the big
Oh,
bird with the big eyes that comes out at night and hunts the mice and the little animals at night.
uh-huh.
The owl. Okay. So normally, when the owl is flying forwards, it would go tweet twoo, tweet twoo. But if the owl is flying backwards, then instead of going tweet twoo, tweet twoo, the owl will go woo, tweet, woo,
Oh,
tweet.
yeah, okay.
You,
I
you, you,
got
under,
it. Yeah,
you
yeah.
understand the joke? Yes. I know that English humor is a little bit difficult to understand sometimes. It's a bit confusing. That's why usually when you explain the joke to somebody, an English joke, a British humor joke, then their first reaction after they've heard the joke is, and then when you explain the joke to them, because the explanation can sometimes be more complicated than the actual joke
Mm.
itself, then after hearing the explanation, the person's reaction is, the person who's listening, this is their reaction. Uh? You see, they're confused when they hear the joke and they go, and then when they hear the explanation, they're even more confused. And then they go, you see what I mean, Rebecca? Because
Yeah.
English jokes are sometimes so complicated, so confusing. Excellent. So it's
Mm.
your turn again to tell a joke, Becca.
Mm, okay. Uh, just the question.
Yes.
Why couldn't the bicycle stand up by itself?
Well, normally you use a bicycle stand. Uh, oh, I think I know why the bicycle couldn't stand up by itself.
Mm.
Maybe because it was a baby bicycle, and babies can't stand up by themselves. So, was it a baby bicycle, and that's why it couldn't stand up by itself?
No.
No, because I know this kind of joke, you know.
Mm.
It's
You can
like,
use your imagination and I mean
as-
go wild.
I mean,
Yes.
normally a bicycle has a bicycle stand. So if it, oh, it doesn't have any legs to stand on. That's right. Of course, a bicycle only has wheels. It doesn't have legs, so a bicycle cannot stand. Is that the answer?
No.
Ah, okay.
Mm.
You'll have to tell me.
I tell you,
Yes, you have to tell me.
it was too tired.
Oh, he was too tired. Oh, with the tires. Yes, of course, because the bicycle has tires. So he was too tired because there's two tires, one at the
Yeah.
front, one at the back. So he was too
No, I
tired.
mean too tired. I mean
Oh,
it.
I know. But if you understand the joke fully, there's a
Uh
play
huh.
on words because I understand by grace all of the joke.
Oh, okay.
Too tired. That means it's not, you know, we
Oh.
talk about a one-legged person or a two-legged person. You can talk about a one-wheeled vehicle or a two-wheeled vehicle or a three or
Mhm.
four-wheeled vehicle.
Mhm.
And you can talk about a bicycle being a three-tired bicycle, which would be a tricycle
Mhm.
with three wheels. But this is a bicycle with two wheels, so it's a two-wheeled bicycle, but
Yeah.
each wheel has a tire. So it's a
Yeah.
two-tired bicycle, which means it's a bicycle with two tires. But obviously, it's a play on words, it's a pun, and the reason why it can't stand is because it's too tired. That is to say, it is
Yeah.
exhausted because of
Yeah. Yeah.
the fatigue, but it's also because it's too tired because a bicycle has two tires. So that is the complete meaning of the joke. So you understood one part of the joke, which was the fact that it was tired, but
Yeah.
there's no reason for a bicycle to be tired. You need to understand the second part of the joke, which is the play on words on too tired,
Yeah.
because then that's logical. A bicycle normally always has two tires because normally it always has two wheels and each wheel has a tire. So
Mm.
the full understanding of the joke is that the reason why a bicycle can't stand up, it's because it has two tires, which is obvious because most
Mm.
bicycles have two tires, and because it's a two-tired bicycle, then if it's too tired, then it's too tired to stand up, and that's the reason why it can't stand up. But you need to have understand the other part to fully understand the joke.
Yeah.
You see what I mean, Becca?
Yeah. Just like the same sounds, but uh,
That's right. It
I
sounds the
mean
same.
similar
Similar sound.
pronunciation, but the
Exactly.
different meaning. Yeah.
Exactly. The pronunciation
Yeah.
is the same. The writing is different. The meaning is different, but it's the
Uh-huh.
same sound. So it's what we call a pun or a play on words. Do you remember when I
Mm-hmm.
talked to you about puns and a play on words? Do you remember that, Becca, in the first
Yeah.
lesson? I
Yeah.
told you about that. Yes.
Mm.
So I'm glad that I was able to share with you the other part of the joke. So you see, as I was saying to you, normally I know about 50% of jokes by
Mm.
grace. Like the previous joke, I was able to tell you about what happens if you eat too much candy. Uh, you have something wrong with your health.
Yeah.
So, and this one, I didn't know the whole joke, but I knew 50% of it.
Mm.
So half the joke. Normally, when I say I know 50% of jokes, that normally means I know one out of two jokes. Normally, you see. So every other joke usually I know. So one joke I don't know, then one joke I do, one I don't, one I do. But in this case, it was 50% of the actual joke. So I knew, understood half of the joke, and you understood the other half. So this was teamwork, you see. We put the two halves together and we understand the whole joke between us. That's good teamwork. Excellent. Well done, Becca. Good teamwork. Brilliant. You've done a good
Uh-huh.
job there. Wonderful. That's a combined effort, you see. We both participated for telling this joke and for understanding this joke. That's great. So let's have a look. What joke shall we have next? Well, what I can do is I can have a look at. Oh, yes, did we do the Shaggy Dog stories last time? I don't know if we did those last time. Did we do Shaggy Dog story jokes?
We do.
I don't know if we did the Shaggy Dog story jokes. Let me write it for you. So, Shaggy Dog story jokes. Did we ever do a Shaggy Dog story joke before, Becca?
Yeah, just like last time you mentioned about the three legs. It's quite similar with Sharky Dog story.
Yes, that's right. So,
I
if
think
I...
it's the most difficult joke
Oh,
for
yes, to
native
understand.
speaker. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. It is the most difficult. That's why I've kept it for the end of the lesson, the last part of the lesson, as it's the most difficult. So you've already been able to warm yourself up uh, in the previous part of the lesson, so that now you've reached cruising speed. So you're now, ready for action, ready to understand this Shaggy Dog story, the joke, which is more difficult.
Uh-huh.
So now, if you open up the link I sent you with the Shaggy Dog story jokes, I don't know if we've already read some of these before. Have a look at the first one. Did we already read the first one or not, Becca?
Hang on first. The first one.
Yes.
Okay.
Did we
I go.
already do this one or not? The first one.
Yeah, the first one we read.
Ah, we've already read the first one. Okay.
Yeah,
So what about the second one? Have we read the second one yet?
not yet.
Not yet. Well, we can read the second one then. This will give you a bit of practice with reading, and I'll correct any mistakes you make in your pronunciation, and of course, explain any difficult words which you don't understand for you. Okay?
Okay.
So, I'm listening to you read then, please, Becca.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Jimmy and the little purple grapes.
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 That's right.
Jimmy convinces his mother to
Hmm.
let him pack his own lunchbox,
That's right.
and he chooses to take little purple
So
grapes
he
with
chooses, it's plural. I mean, not
chooses.
plural, but there's an S at the end because it's third person singular. So it's he chooses.
He chooses.
Very good. Yes.
He chooses
Hmm.
to take little purple grapes with him.
That's right. Hmm.
Throughout the rest of the joke, which
Yes.
takes about 5 minutes.
Oh, we still have 5 minutes left of the lesson, even a bit more than 5 minutes, so it's all right. We still have enough time for the joke, so that's good. That's reassuring. It's all
Okay.
right then. We can continue with the
So
joke. Because if it was, let's say, 50 minutes, obviously we don't have 50 minutes left of the lesson, so we wouldn't have been able to do the joke this time. But as it only takes about 5 minutes and we have a little bit more than 5 minutes left, even 10 minutes, so we have plenty of time for the joke, so it's all right. We can do the joke.
okay. So every person who hears the phrase "little purple
Did you
grapes"
did you read what was in brackets after the
in
5 minutes?
the
That's right.
per- oh, or until the person tells them the joke. gets bored.
That's right. So if I'm bored of telling the joke, then
Oh,
obviously it would stop before the 5 minutes are up. But don't worry, I'm never bored of telling jokes, so there's no danger of me being bored and get
no danger.
and stopping the joke. So you're all right there, Becca. You can be
Okay.
reassured that we won't stop the joke in the middle because I'm bored. No danger of that.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
okay. Continue.
Yes, please. Thank you, Becca.
Okay. Every person who hears the phrase "little purple grapes" from
Yes.
Jimmy becomes enraged,
And enraged.
enraged,
That's it. Hmm.
enraged, and
Yes.
gives him an increasingly harsh punishment.
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 That's right.
At the end of the joke, Jimmy
Mhm.
has been beaten up,
Oh.
expelled,
Oh.
disowned,
Disowned.
disowned,
Oh,
and put in jail
that's
because
terrible.
of that one phrase.
Can you imagine? Oh, that's absolutely dreadful. Absolutely awful. How can a how can you imagine such a thing? It's absolutely the worst possible imaginable thing. Just because of one phrase, all of that happening? Can you believe such a thing? Wow. Okay, let's continue then, Becca.
And his cellmate
Yes.
offers to tell him the
Hmm.
reason people become so angry if
Yes.
Jimmy will sneak out of jail and get
Yes.
him some cigarettes.
Right.
The joke is also known by purple flowers,
Yes.
purple spaghetti, or
Yes.
purple passion.
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 Purple
Pa.
passion.
Pa.
Okay,
Pa. Passion. Passion.
passion.
That's right.
But the only real difference is the beginning of the story.
That's right.
Purple passion, where
Passion.
Jimmy
Passion. Passion.
passion,
Yes, that's right.
where Jimmy sneaks out
Hmm.
to be with his girlfriend,
Mm.
and his randomly gives his teacher this excuse.
Yes.
The purple spaghetti
Hmm.
variant
Variant.
variant has
Yes.
many different introductions.
Oh,
The
yes, I can imagine. Mm.
the jokes follows from there.
Right.
I continue.
Yes, please. You're doing
Oh,
well. Well done, Becca. Unless you're
okay.
bored. If you're bored, then we can stop the joke before the 5 minutes. Are you bored yet or not?
No, I still
You're not
know
bored.
the answer.
Oh, you want to know the answer, of course. So
Uh,
I'll let you continue then, Becca. That's good
okay,
that you're not bored.
okay. Jimmy sneaks out and gets hit by a bus.
Oh, that's terrible.
The moral, the moral of the story:
Yes,
look both ways before crossing the street.
absolutely. That's very wise advice. You should always look both ways before crossing the street. That is very good advice. I agree with that. Do
Okay,
you
the
agree
next.
with that, Becca? Do you think that's a good advice to give? Always look both ways before crossing the street?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. Okay, what comes next then, Becca?
The next, yeah, in a variation,
Yes.
he gets hit by a bus
Oh,
while getting cigarettes for
yes.
another guy who
Yes.
promised
Mm-hmm.
Miss to tell him
Mm-hmm.
what the purple fill in the blank means.
Yes. Do you know
Means
do you know what it means when they say fill in the blank?
purple. Oh,
What does it mean when they say
just
fill in the blank?
add anything you want.
Exactly. You could add anything you want. It could be grapes, it could be flowers, it could be spaghetti, it could be passion, anything you want.
Oh, put out. So go back.
Yes, of course.
Okay, for another guy who promised to tell him what the purple spaghetti
Yes.
means, and the normal the moral of the story is smoking is bad for you.
Oh, absolutely. That's true. Smoking is very bad for you. It could even kill you. That's how bad it is. Yes, very
Okay,
true.
the
Hmm.
next in some versions, Jimmy is killed by other
Ver
means.
versions,
Version
versions. That's right. Yes,
versions.
yes,
Jimmy is killed by other means.
yes.
Sheriff or
Sheriff.
sheriff or
Yes,
homeless man,
yes. Sheriff or
and
homeless man.
the story goes on from there. Jimmy
Yes,
ends up in heaven,
yes,
where Saint Peter
yes. Saint Peter. That's right.
greets him.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy asks him what the phrase means,
Mm-hmm.
and in response, Saint
Mm-hmm.
Peter sends Jimmy to hell.
Oh, that's awful. That's terrible.
There he meets Satan
Sa
himself.
Satan himself.
Satan means Satan himself.
Oh, dreadful, terrible. Yes.
Since there's nothing worse than can happen to him now, he asks
Yes.
Satan what the phrase means, and Satan just laughs and tells him
So
that
Satan just laughs. That's right. Yes.
and tells him
Mm-hmm.
that that is a very long joke with
Yes.
no other purpose than to waste your time.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly what a shaggy dog story is. It's a very long joke with no other purpose than to waste your time. That's
Mm.
exactly what it is. Yes. So what comes next?
Mm. The last one is a possible explanation. Purple
Possible,
spaghetti.
possible explanation.
Possible explanation.
Yes.
Purple cigarettes in the local language slang
Yes.
translates to purple cigarettes. Translate to blah blah blah. I don't know. No wonder everyone got pissed at the boy.
Yes. So that everybody is upset with him.
Oh,
So in your local language or your slang, it translates to whatever is written uh, after translates to. And so it's no wonder that everybody is upset with the boy.
uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay.
So, uh, did you understand that joke, Becca?
Uh, Sounds like it just explain the reasons all the time.
Yes,
But
that's right. There's all the different
you
reasons.
okay.
Hmm.
Mm, I think I don't have the wisdom to understand.
Yes, it is. I mean, quite difficult to understand that particular joke. But
Mm,
basically, it's just taking something which is quite ordinary, like grapes or spaghetti, or could be
cigarettes.
cigarettes,
Uh,
yes, could be passion, could be flowers, and then building it up, into something that's like really intricate, really elaborate. And so everybody's wondering what this could possibly be. And so it builds up the suspense until uh, you come to the end of it, uh, and then you realize that it had no other use really than just to waste your time, really. So the joke is like on you, you see.
Okay.
Okay. So now that we've come to the end of the lesson, Becca, how did you find the lesson? Was it helpful, interesting, useful for you? Did you learn some new things?
You mean the whole class, the
Yes,
joke
the whole
of
class. How did you find it? Was it
yeah,
helpful, interesting, useful for you? Did you learn some new things?
yeah. Through the jokes help me learn about the culture of different countries
Yes.
and different languages
Mm-hmm.
and different sounds. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
That's good.
It's good. It's helped me to not only learn English itself.
Yes.
You
Yes.
can also learn different attitude or sounds to describe different things.
Yes, absolutely. That's
Yeah,
right. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the lesson as much as I did, Becca. That's really good. So I'm really pleased about that. So thank you very much for the lesson, Becca. And
thanks as well.
you're ever so welcome. So all the best for you. Take
Mhm.
care. Keep well. Look after yourself. May the Lord continue blessing you ever so abundantly in all things. That's my prayer for you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thanks. Amen.
Amen. Okay.
Okay.
See you next
Okay.
time.
See you.
Thanks a lot.
See you.
Cheers. Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye bye.